Hey, what's up guys, back with another action figure review. And today we're looking at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Tenshinhan and Chiaotzu, or as I like to say, Tien and Chiaotzu. So here they are displayed through the front window of the package. We can see it is a web exclusive since it's got the little symbol down there below. There's the side, there is the other side, and then the back side just shows some various poses of this figure. Now, I did get two of these TNs, and I did not know that this would happen, but my two are a little bit different from each other, so I just wanted to show you guys that right off the bat. And the only major difference here is just the shading, so it looks like the shading will vary depending on the figure that you get. So the one on the left side has darker shading for the torso, and then this one has literally no shading for the torso, and that just happened by random. It's just the two that I got. So that's very interesting. Now they do both get shading at the legs, so that's not a problem. It's just the torso piece that was not shaded on this. Could be a mistake, could be some variations in the batches that were sent out. So I do prefer the shaded version. I did ask on Instagram which ones do people prefer, and a lot of people, or at least most of them, said the shaded version. So definitely we'll go with the shaded version. Alright, and before we get into TN, since he is 90% the same figure, the same TN that we have, let's take a look at Chiaotzu first, because he is a brand new figure. The first time we got Chiaotzu, he was just a static statue, so he wasn't really an action figure, and a lot of people were wanting him articulated, and lo and behold, here he is articulated in Bluefin, or at least not Bluefin, I'm sorry, Bandai Tamashii. Bluefin is the distributor, not the actual people that make it. So Bandai Tamashii went ahead and answered our cries for a articulated Chiaotzu. And here he is. He looks fantastic, and he is articulated as much as you can articulate a tiny little figure, and I'm actually impressed with the amount of articulation that they were able to give Chiaotzu, and I'm very happy with the result here. So we'll just jump right into it. There's no accessories for Chiaotzu, he's just Chiaotzu. So we can see here his head will sit on a ball joint, so he can look up, not so much, but there is some motion up and down, left and right, head tilting, so that's pretty cool. The arms will rotate, go all the way around. They go in and out about this far right here. There is no bicep swivel. We do get a single jointed elbow right here. You can see it kind of bends both directions, so you want to break his arm, you can break his arm. But it'll bend that much. So not much, but it is a bend. It is something. Then we get rotation at the wrist, and I think that's on a ball joint. He does come with alternate hands. I guess I should have said that it was accessories, but I meant there was no, other accessories. But we'll get into the hands in a second. Let's see what they're on. I think they're just on ball joints. Very tiny. I would be very careful with that. It is a tiny, tiny ball joint. There you go. And then there is no waist swivel or torso articulation at all. The legs will kick forward all the way. And then they go in and out about this far. We do get thigh swivels. We get double jointed knees. That's actually impressive. I didn't expect that at all. I thought we were going to get singles. And that looks actually really good. So props to Bandai on that. We get a little bit of a swivel at the knee too. Then we get an ankle ball joint. So it goes forward and back. Pretty deep. We get a rocker and we get a swivel. Everything that you would want on a foot, it's there except for a toe hinge. So yeah, man, here is our previous Chiaotzu, and it's night and day. Night and day, not just because of the articulation, but because of the actual look, the color, the likeness. It's way better on this new updated version. I'm so happy they actually released it as a pack-in with TN. It makes sense. I was actually curious on how they were going to release this figure because it's so small. Really was hoping they were not going to do it single release. That would be insane, and they did not. So pretty cool of them to pack it in with TN. But here's our original Chiaotzu, which was meant to clip on the back of Nappa. So there's that, but you could just see, I mean, yeah, you take your pick. Which one do you prefer? He seems to be a lot more chubbier on the static version right here. So the hands of Chiaotzu include a pair of fists that come back in. Then we get a pair of open hands, which are very similar to the open hands on this one, so you can actually recreate that if you want. And then lastly, we get pointing fingers on each hand. So those are your three sets of hands that you can alternate with Chiaotzu. So again, impressive that we got this articulation and we got the hand swaps for this figure. So I'm going to try to make this review quick and easy since this is a exact copy of a TN figure that we all have already and I've reviewed already. The only thing different here is, of course, the head sculpt and the torso sculpt. That's what we're looking at here, and then we're going to do some comparisons with some other figures, such as the original release of TN, and even the third-party Demoniacal fit accessory piece that they made to attach to that original figure, which I do have. So we're going to compare all those. So in case you do own that one and you're thinking about whether or not you should keep that or have the new updated actual authentic version, then this video is for you, so stay tuned for that. So first up, let's just take a look at the heads that he comes with. So the first head you can see here is just the neutral head sculpt right here. Then we will get this head sculpt. You can see he's got like a shocked look on his face. Then we get a yelling, screaming, maybe a tri-beam cannon ha face. And then we have another angry face here. So you can see, you know, shocked, angry, and then super angry, or just powering up, or tri-beam cannon face right there. And then of course the neutral head on the actual figure itself. And as for hands, it's everything we know he will come with. So we got a pair of fists, we have a super spread open pair of hands, we get our grabby hands, we get our same tri-beam cannon posing hands with the indentations and pegs, so you can pose it like that, just like the original one. And then we get a right hand pose like this. So here's a closer look at TN. You can see the new head sculpt, and it doesn't look new right now, but when we do a side by side with the original, you'll see it's a different sculpt completely. It's a different mold 100%. But the main attraction here is, of course, the torso piece. So a good way of releasing a very sought after figure was to make it a little bit different, a little incentive for those that bought the previous version, and also still taking care of the people that missed out on that previous version by giving them a TN. So the original one came shirtless. No torso piece like this. This one has the torso piece. Now we all know TN wore both versions, so as a Dragon Ball Z fan, I was asking for this version too. So I'm glad that we got it. Glad they found a way to deliver it in a way that satisfies everybody. So really, we're just going to look at this torso piece. You can see what they did here. It's an actual molded piece on the torso, and they even give some of that gi as the butterfly joint right there. So it's not just a piece that you just slide on like the third-party version. This is actually molded on there, and it's part of the figure. Actually, mine has a little bit of a little stain there right out of the factory. I don't know what that's about. That sucks, but it'll just scratch it right off. Yeah, somebody didn't have their hands clean in the factory. So there you go. I'm not really going to go through articulation. Like I said, we have this figure, or most of us do, or if you don't, then you can check out all the previous TN reviews. But let's get right into the comparisons. Alright guys, so first up here we have our comparison, a little close up here of the shirtless original TN next to the new one here that comes with a shirt or a half shirt. And one of the major things that pops out to me right here, right now, is the head. Of course, the head looks fatter and bigger on the new one. Now, we really didn't realize that until right now, until we had them next to each other. So you take your pick. What is everyone's say on this here? Is this more accurate? Does this look better to you, or do you prefer the smaller head on the original release? I think they both look good, but they definitely do look odd when you put them side by side, and it makes you double guess and double think of what looks good and what doesn't. You know, it is what it is. I think they're both good, but I want to say maybe the new one, the bigger head, is a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know. Side by side just looks crazy, and he does look taller too than the original release. And then if we want to take a look at the rest of the figure real quick, you can see that it is all the same. The waistband is slightly different. It's a little bit bigger on the new release here, so you can see that. But the arms and the leg sculpts are all the same. The articulation is the same. Even the shading seems to be the same. A little bit more shading on the new one, and that's it. So you guys heard me mention before, I did want them to release a version of TN with the shirt attachment. So much so that I even went ahead and bought a third-party accessory. Yes, I bought the Demoniacal fit. How do you say that? I don't know. Demoniacal fit. Demoniacal fit torso piece. This was actually the first accessory that they released, and they put their name out there with this one, and then they followed up with Ginyu. But they did the torso piece of TN, and they did the head of Yamcha with the spiky short hair, which I believe Bandai Tamashii is going to make an official release of that anyways, so that one's going to be no good eventually. But if you can't already tell, the Demoniacal Fit version is on the far right here. So what I did was I obviously bought 2 original TNs. At the time, there was no new one, just so I could slide in this torso piece, and for what it was great. This is one of my favorite pieces of those, you know, third-party Demoniacal Fit accessories. I don't buy their head sculpts no more. I don't buy their figures at all. I did buy the Ginyu when it first came out and quickly got rid of it once Bandai Tamashii announced theirs. They really have no contest versus the official releases. And I'm seeing the trend now that eventually everything that they try to do is going to get released officially, so why even bother buying from a third-party source? That being said, though, the Demoniacal Fit did do a decent job. They matched the colors, I mean, pretty darn good if you ask me. You can see here that is the torso piece. It is just a piece, so the shoulder butterfly joint it's still the original skin butterfly joint, obviously. So there's that, and then here's the new one, of course. So what do you guys think? I know there's a breakage now because of the butterfly joint, but it's also not removable. So what do you guys think? Do you prefer this? It almost looks a little bit seamless on the Demoniacal Fit version because of the fact that it's hiding the butterfly joint there. So there's that. Some people might like that better, but there's also no shading on that, and it looks a little bit brighter green than the rest of the gi here. And so you guys tell me, what do you guys think? Is this enough for you guys to get rid of this the Demoniacal Fit piece, or maybe those that never got around to actually getting this piece? I don't even know if it's available anymore or not. Maybe it is. You know, if you missed out on that, then is this an incentive? Is this good enough for you guys to go out and get this TN? I think in general, a lot of people missed out on TN, and the value of this TN went up so high that people are just gonna get it for TN. They don't really care for the gi. I think that's what it's gonna, you know, end up being. So now I'll tell you what I'm going to do now that I have so many TNs. Now that we have an official release, obviously I'm gonna go with the official release, and I'm not gonna go with the Demoniacal Fit torso piece on the TN there. So I don't know, I guess I'm just gonna put this aside, or, you know, sell it or something, because I don't need another TN now that we have an official release of TN. So now I can keep one shirtless, the original official Bandai Tamashii shirtless, and then the original Bandai Tamashii torso piece version here. So now I have both. I can display them both as I was already displaying them, but now they're both official. Alright, and just to show you, here's the original TN head. And then here's that same head, the same expression on the new TN. So the different head sculpt. So if you want, you can pop off the head on the original TN body and pop in the new head, and that's what it's gonna look like. So there's a look at that. Now this is on the original TN body with the Demoniacal Fit torso, and then here it is on the new body, the same head, and you can see how different that looks. That is because they are different torsos after all. Wow, they are so identical that it's very hard to tell. But yeah, the neck is a different piece. The torso is an entirely different piece. I couldn't even catch it. I thought they used the same thing and just sculpted on it, but they really didn't. I mean, it's the same sculpt, but slightly different. I don't know. I really can't tell. There's very subtle differences here. The neck is obviously a dead giveaway now that I'm head swapping. So the neck is bigger on the new one. You can see the necks there. So that compensates for the head. That's why it looked weird when I put the new head on the old body. And then the torso is a little bit wider, I guess. The only major different sculpt portion I see is that torso. Let me see if I can get it on camera. So super difficult to pick up, but there is a sculpted line across the pecs there. It is a lot longer on this one, and then you could see it here. How much shorter that is. I mean, that's literally the major difference. The scar looks the same. You could even see a little sculpted nipple there. It looks the same. Yeah, it's crazy identical. That's why I couldn't catch it at first, but they are different. Alright guys, that's going to conclude my review / comparison video of the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts TIEN and Chiaotzu. This is the 2.0 TIEN with the torso gi already attached, And again, I just have him here next to the original with the third-party torso. Don't support third-party junk. Honestly, this is leagues ahead, leagues better than that. Even though it was good for its time, it's all we had. I don't blame you for getting it. I got it myself, so definitely was a cool piece for its time. But now time for Demoniacal Fit to step aside because the big dogs are doing it way better. And also, the 2.0 Tien just looks better overall than the original Tien from Bandai Tamashii. I like the bigger head, the bigger torso, the bigger neck. I think it looks proportionally better, especially next to the original. I don't know, it makes him look very, very skinny. I don't know. But you tell me. That's what the comment section is for. Let me know which one do you prefer, which one do you like better. Do you prefer the OG head sculpt or the new 2.0 head sculpt on this new Tien? Alright guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, take care and have a good one.